This is Brownie's Podcast!
Welcome to Brownie's Podcast. We're all back in the studio. The full team's back together, minus PointsBet Pomeroy anyway. But listen to this man's voice. Say hello, Campbell Brown.
Eventful 3 or 4 days up in Brisbane, guys.
How good. When I saw him in the coffee shop across the road, his eyes were like piss holes in the sand. He's had that big of a weekend, the man. We'll get to it, though. Hodgey's 40th.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Sounds like everyone was there.
They went to Branson's Island, our friend here, and all these premiership Hawthorn mates. And, mate, you look like you've seen some you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've got around the last few days.
What? Just give us a
tease.
5 names.
Yeah.
5 names, tease.
Well, Fags was there dancing.
Fags?
Yeah, after a win on Friday night.
So the hamstring where he ripped it off the bone a few years ago going downhill down our slides fixed.
Birch had a little baby boy during the week. We didn't think he'd make it, but he was there.
Wedding of the head.
Yeah, with
Rhonda
the head.
Birchmore as well. No.
Abby Holmes was there.
No.
Bud was there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Dickie Knee.
Dickie Knee present. Hey, the big takeaway already, and we'll get to it, but Bud was there, and that's what excited me, because I thought he was just avoiding Campbell.
Well, that's right. They are premiership teammates, though, so absolutely they were at the same party. But I tell you what, yesterday, Dino,
Yeah.
I saw the game of the year.
Son of a bitch.
Not
And
as
just-
a commentator.
Yeah.
Just as a punter.
As
level 4,
Yeah.
row Q, up there with my Hampton League boys. It was unbelievable. North v Collingwood.
Mate, condolences to the North fans, because Collingwood, they always do it. The last 3 years, how many games have they got out of a jam by under 3 points?
I know.
It's unbelievable.
That was the first time, though, they did it without Pendlebury. Normally the conductor out there, he's the one, but Dacos was the new conductor. It was great to watch. I love how you said about the fans, because right in front of me, I got some video of it. There was an older North Melbourne supporter, and about 6 rows in front of him, an older Collingwood supporter.
Yeah.
Wow, in the second half, when Collingwood were making a run, they just went at each other. So, mate, that's returning. So the Collingwood supporter was giving him the old double prongs, turning around, and there's a few profanities. And then the North boys would kick a goal, and he'd get up and get stuck into the... They went back and forth. It was like Federer, Nadal in their prime over 5 sets. It was magnificent. It was a sideshow.
Yeah, disappointing. Those losses when you're up by so much and you're a struggling side, like they haven't won many games this year. That's just heartbreaking.
It's
and
like
you could feel Collingwood coming, couldn't you?
It's like North after beating Eagles, just something went off in their brain. Like, we can actually win games if we.
I think Clarko's unlocked something. I think no doubt he is now tapped into talk about hearts and minds as a coach. I think he's absolutely got those players humming now. I think he's unlocked them. Their pressure was off the charts, and to push Collingwood all the way, and they should have won the game, but they've got a lot of talented young blokes. I think Clarko's found the keys.
Yeah, I think so. But they dropped the tag on Dacos at 3/4 time.
I thought, though, Phillips was in trouble. Like, he was fatiguing heavily. Dacos was getting on the fly. I could see it we were sitting up on, high up in the grandstand, as I said, and you could see Dacos was getting so active. And young Phillips, who'd done a pretty good job, was starting to drop off him. So I think that's what the North Melbourne coaches would have seen, and that's why potentially they made the change.
Okay, there was a Dogg 50 and a real soft free kick to Nick Dacos, the best to ever play, the early GOAT. But he got a high against him and kicked a goal, which was very dubious.
Well, I'll tell you what, Collingwood, you have to say the Collingwood crowd won the game for them, because the umpires but the last quarter, there was just Collingwood all the way through, and there was 3 or 4 free kicks that probably should have been paid, including the Bailey Scott 50-metre penalty, which is so at the ground, because it was so loud. It was so obvious to everyone, but we thought the whistle hadn't been blown, they couldn't hear the whistle.
Okay,
because we were going, why was that not 50 metres? It was just so obvious. So that was a mistake. But I think the Collingwood crowd won the game for the Pies.
So they're a genuine 19th man.
Absolutely. No question about it.
They're loud.
Mate, it was, especially under the roof there.
The Tigers' army's loud, but I don't think anyone matches Collingwood.
Yeah.
That Collingwood chant just drowns them down. Did we ever find that bloke that starts the chant?
No, but I swear the Viking guy, I swear he was at the Tottenham Hotspur game at the G the other week. But he was so smashed I didn't want to go near him because he would have just been an absolute mess. And he's massive, John. He's like your height.
Is he?
He'd
have to. He wouldn't be a little fella with with that voice.
Anyway, so yesterday, that win for the Pies, the difference between ladder-wise, that shot them right up. If they,
I think they're second now, are they?
I think third.
Yeah, they would have been seventh.
Yeah, it would have been a bad loss for them. Like you mark that down as 4 points, you know, and they had to fight for every single
53
possession.
points down. I think it was the third biggest comeback in AFL history, which is pretty amazing. So early in the third quarter, 53 points down. Love some good stuff from. Obviously we'll celebrate Collingwood, but North Melbourne, Jesus, some exciting youngsters there, like Georgie Wardlaw. Sheasel, but Georgie's a cult figure. Could he have still won the Rising Star even if Harley Reid hadn't been suspended? Like, he absolutely instigated things for North, and he lit them up. And obviously, Larky kicked 4 goals in the first quarter. It was on the back of Wardlaw's dominance. It was great to see.
We'll get to the streaker later, because I didn't even know there was a streaker who apparently was Maynard's.
Well, he had clothes on. He was an intruder. Right. Yeah. Thank Christ he had clothes on.
A pitch invader.
Not in the best condition, the young lad. He hasn't had the biggest pre-season.
Did he get tased like that guy we played last week?
Well, that's what I was disappointed about, Brown Dog. Last week, I think I've explained to you off air that baseball crowd, a bloke jumped the fence, did a backflip while getting chased by the copper. Yeah. The copper, understandably, allowed him to finish the backflip. 10 out of 10, mind you. Yeah. And then allowed him to run off, got about 5 metres away, and he's tased him. So, mate, as you can imagine, I was filming it all yesterday, and I hadn't hit record on my phone. And I'm watching it, just hoping like how these 5 security guards, one of them would have a taser and just go bang. But it wasn't happening. It was a nice sidestep, though. It was like a Freddie Fittler sidestep before he got smashed in the ground.
We'll review the footage for Instagram later.
Well, his brother plays footy. Yeah, this guy, the intruder's brother.
No?
Play for Collingwood?
His brother plays for the Dogs, Charlie Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
No
Mate, late in the day too. He's had a few tins with the boys, and he's decided that his mates have put him up to it. He's Braden Maynard's mate.
Yeah.
So he was just keen to get out of there. But it was good to watch because he spent a fair bit of time out there and they were chasing him. Yep. He had a good sidestep on him for a big fella. I'm not sure he plays rugby league or rugby union or one of those sports, but it was just so good to watch. Bobby Hill.
Oh, my God. That grabbed...
I know we want to go with hot takes or big takes. That's... Mark of the century was Sean Smith. Up at the Gabba, stood on Gary Lyon's shoulders, who was his teammate in the Gabba. That was named officially as the mark of the century.
Yep.
Bobby Hill's mark yesterday is the mark of the century so far.
Do you reckon? He came down too clean,
24 years in.
24 years in. Mate, that's every bit as good. If Sean Smith was named mark of the century, that's every bit as good. He stood on the shoulders. He got the second elevation, and then he came down with a perfect dismount and landed on his feet.
But Dog,
it was just so seamless.
Do you rather the messy landing because it looks sicker? It's more dramatic.
I like the higher. The higher, the better.
Right.
The landing doesn't bother me.
Right, because it was smooth, John.
It was too smooth. It was like a cat, wasn't it?
It was like a cat. He turned, landed. It was like a cat, no doubt about it. So there you go. 24 years in. I think he's set the benchmark. It's definitely mark of the year. I think it's above Jamie Elliott's for this year, and I'm going to back myself in. Okay. I know I won't probably last all the way through the century.
Ash Sampi took a massive one at the G one day. Remember that?
In terms of height, that might have pipped Bobby Hill
right up there.
No, but Sampi's was only on one man. Bobby Hill's was on several.
Several men.
Yeah, so I think the degree of difficulty is a little bit harder because you've got to put your feet in different positions.
More men. So the other games, what are we going to look out for? Swans kicked like 10 in a row, as always.
Joel Amati. The Amati party was in full flight. He's rocketing up the Coleman medal race now on the back of 9 goals.
It's wild.
JB, you kicked 10 once.
I did. Thanks for mentioning that, Dog. I kicked 10 goals. That's the only time I ever kicked 10 goals. I kicked 9 4 times. Twice in the under-13s against Naranda. I was filthy. But finally, I got the 10 against Carlton. Carlton were pretty ordinary back in those days, but I got the 10 with about a minute to go.
Wait, Naranda in Perth or Naranda in...
Naranda in Warrnambool, just outside of Warrnambool. So I had a shot late to kick me 10th against Naranda. But Joel Amati, he's the new buddy. He kept him in the game early. He's kicked no goals in the first quarter, 4 in the second, 4 in the third. Kicks his 9th early in the last.
That's
and
a
Johnny
proper
Longmire.
bag.
Johnny Longmire takes him off the ground.
Son of a bitch.
What are you doing, horse?
Come on.
Yeah, that was the surprise of the round for me. He bobs up and he kicks his 2 and his 3. I think he kicked 4 earlier this year. But 9 is a proper bag.
He's been pretty reliable. So 9 out of the 13 games this year, Dog, he's kicked multiples.
Yep.
So he's starting to become pretty good. And well, I know it was controversial at the start of the year, but Dogg made the call that it's actually the Sydney forward line's functioning better without Buddy.
I do remember that.
Now, that was polarising to a lot of people.
Buddy Franklin.
That was like shooting Bambi.
He gave us a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah,
And that thumbs
Buddy
up was a passive-aggressive
It was.
FU.
But like when you look at their forward line, honestly, Haywood bobs up
Yeah.
and kicks goals. Papley kicks goals. Amadi's kicking goals.
Logan McDonald.
Hayden
McLean.
They're getting goals out of Chad and Heaney, and they're a really well balanced forward line. Like, who do you stop?
Yeah, they're just flicking the switch at the moment, Dog. Do you reckon there's just they need a little shake-up? They play the Giants this week. Giants were back yesterday. The Battle of the Bridge. I can't wait for that on the weekend. I think that's the twilight game. I wonder if there's a little wake-up call coming because they were early against Geelong.
Yep.
Early against Adelaide. I just wonder, they just flicking the switch a bit at the moment. The boys.
Horse will be aware of that too. He won't be letting them rest on their laurels. He'll know that while they've been winning and they're 3 games clear on top of the ladder, he'll be wanting to give them a little clip.
Hey, in a non-footy town, that team could not have done more for AFL, right, in the last 20 years.
They're
in
flying.
terms of being relevant. When Buddy went over there, they couldn't do more to promote footy.
There's real buzz up there. There's
There
real
is.
buzz around the Sydney Swans and going to their games and just what they're doing at the moment. And, you don't often feel that in Sydney, but they're flying.
How good's Brody Grundy been?
Yep.
As a pickup. Like, you'd have to say now, he push up as All-Australian ruckman.
Him and Max Gawn, I think, are fighting out the spot for the All-Australian ruckman
He's probably
right
the
now.
biggest name recruit, but it's the first time Sydney hasn't had the really big sort of global star. Like they had Tony Lockett in the 90s, then Barry Hall, and then Buddy Franklin. This is the first year they've gone without that real headline name that people know outside of footy circles, outside of AFL circles. So it's good to say the game is still going good and crowds are still going good up there, even though that was in Adelaide.
Hey, Buck's filling in for you, Dog. He's done some outlandish for the weekend, and we're going to play it just before the ads. But Dusty's
Did you put him up to it?
Yeah, man. Oh, you won't believe it. Dusty's 300th game. Beautiful turnout.
8th biggest home and away crowd ever.
Amazing.
Mate, 92,000. Just shows the power of the man and how much of a
He's loved.
legend he's become.
Yeah, I thought they'd get 60,000 there, but to get over 90, huge. And footy gods, first goal of the game, bang,
Oh, it was great.
Dusty from 50. Wasn't that magnificent?
Jeez, it was good, wasn't it? I would have loved to have been there. They had. I thought Jack Rewell did a good job. The way they ended the post game, like he interviewed him walking around, and I thought Dusty's appreciation. He's obviously very shy, but he really took the moment in, and he appreciated the crowd. That was nice one, even though they got smashed in the end. Just the way he walked around the ground with Jack Rewell and appreciated the crowd. I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
Dusty knew that the crowd wanted something from him, and he gave it to him. Like, he's normally shy.
Absolutely. On Tuesday night, Chief, the great Jason Dunstall, he gets elevated to legend status in the Hall of Fame.
Love that.
Chief's probably as young as you get, getting elevated to legend status. Now, what's Chief? Probably mid-50s, late 50s?
Yeah,
He might be
late
early
50s.
60s.
Let's guess. I'm saying Chief is 56, Dog.
I'm going to say he's 58.
Beck, I need you to Google this. And Jonathan?
So, I'm going to go 56.
I said 56, brother, so you go.
Okay,
Oh, there you go. He's 60 in August.
No,
60, there you go. So he's getting elevated to legend status. Probably one of the younger ones, or if not the youngest, to get to that. I would have thought Dusty blows that out of the water. So when he retires, you've got to be retired for 5 years to go into the AFL Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And then how long do we wait to elevate him to legend
What's
status?
the minimum amount of time you can wait?
Well, I don't think there's a minimum. I think it's all to do with how many people go into the Hall of Fame. Dusty probably would be in there before he turns 50.
Yeah.
Would be elevated to legend.
You wait for 5 years, so the initial 5 years,
5?
then he's in,
Yeah.
and then you wait another 5.
Yeah.
So he might be in there by mid-40s.
Do you think he beats Buddy for elevation to legend status?
Nah.
You think Buddy goes in?
I think Bud.
They might go in together.
Yeah,
or elevate
maybe.
together.
I mean, they're both absolute locks to be legends.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, they're the two legends. Maybe Gary Ablett Jr. in our era as well.
Yeah.
But they're going to be the ones we'll be celebrating years to come. I just thought it was worth making mention of Chief. Hey, on Saturday, Bulldogs were powerful. Bevo, like everyone was saying, everyone wanted to say Bevo sacked a few weeks ago.
They did. We did.
Footy world was saying, Get rid of him.
Libba makes a massive
Big difference. And Ed Richards coming in.
Yeah.
And then obviously Bont just rolls
Bont
forward.
can win the Brownlow.
I think Bont's the best player in the comp this year, the most important to his team.
Yep.
Dacos obviously a star, but if you were starting a team now, you'd probably take Dacos or Harley Reid. But I reckon he's been able to retool them on the run, and they could be dangerous. They could be dangerous in September. They could cause real problems for teams, especially if Norton comes back in, Darcy comes back in. They're a dangerous midfielders there is in the competition. So I think he's done a great job with them. But I want to focus on the pre-game. I did it with Gary Lyon, myself, Brad Johnson, and the great Eddie Betts. Now, Eddie Betts has rolled a pink jacket.
I saw it, brother.
And
Sexy.
It was astonishing. Now, I've seen a couple of notable pink jackets over the journey.
Who are we talking?
One, Pierce Brosnan in a GQ shoot on the Thames River there in London promoting one of his films.
Mate, Pierce can wear whatever he wants.
Pierce was magnificent, and it had a little bit of brightness about it. Then there was Robbie Williams, who wore the pink jacket when he sung the pre-game entertainment for the AFL
years
Grand
ago,
Final.
And a pink undershirt for that one.
Pink undershirt as well. But I tell you what, I reckon Eduardo, our man Eduardo Betts, I think he nearly tops them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Beck, we're going to put a poll up, aren't we? Or have you already put a poll up?
It's up.
It's already up, guys, so chuck your vote in.
Eddie's already voted.
Yeah, he's vote number one.
And I noticed that Ed had a high-waisted pant.
Yeah,
a classic look.
He likes that. And white shoes.
Classic.
He likes all right. He likes rolling with white shoes. So it takes the confidence, doesn't it, to roll with a pink jacket like that.
Pink, yeah, you've got to be pretty bold.
Dog, we're going to get to the Hodgey Island story. We're going to get to plenty more. I found this Gaelic football commentary that's nuts. But hey, Friday night, I was at home at about midnight, and John texted me. And just about the show, about the podcast. I said, hey, are you up? I'll come over. I'll be there until like 2, then I'll piss off.
Yeah.
Went to John's late at night.
Yeah, how was it?
Had some Johnny Blue and watched the golf.
Did you?
Yeah, because I've assembled many boxes of Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah.
They just turn up to the Baldwin Footy Club. So don't worry about paying me. They just give me a box of Johnny Blue.
This man
every
has
time.
more Johnny Blue than water at his house.
So, mate,
I'll have to get an invite at some stage and come over.
Let's just crack it open. Well, you're always away, Dog, isn't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just had a couple of little
But
nips.
the golf, what happened?
Well, mate, the golf this morning. Last night I had a Johnny Blue nip. The golf started, and then the golf this morning. Rory McIlroy was flying, and then he's choked late. He's missed a 2-foot putt on the 18th.
A 2-foot putt.
A 2-footer, which really essentially would have, probably at least gets him to a playoff.
I mean, Beck solved golf, so you landed it obviously back if you would have tapped that one in.
Easy.
Yeah, because she solved
Easy,
golf.
I've sold it.
And I was sort of cheering for Rory because he's been the bridesmaid for the last 10 years, really. He's been so close. And
He took on the Live Boys too. He
took
was
on
the
the
face
Live Boys,
of,
he was. That's right. Bryson DeChambeau has become a bit of a crowd favourite. He's crossed over to Live. Well, he then has the opportunity. If he just has to par then the 18th to win after Rory's cocked it up. Well, he stuffs up the tee shot, has to chip out. He's ended up having to have a bunker shot from about 40 metres away to get par. He had to get up and down to get par to win. Right. Otherwise, it goes to a playoff. His bunker shot, which traditionally known as the hardest shot in golf, the long bunker shot, he puts it to within 3 feet and then sinks the putt. It was the best.
Unbelievable.
Wins it.
It's unbelievable.
It was the best clutch moment I've seen in professional sport.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Ever. I just thought degree of difficulty, crowd there against him. He knew how big the occasion was, and those greens were really tough to hold. He goes and nails it. So I'm putting it up there as the best clutch moment I've seen. Dog?
I know the best clutch moment I've ever seen, and it's in basketball. 2013, Miami are playing San Antonio, and it's Game 6, and Miami are down 3 points, 15 seconds on the clock. They get the ball, and basically San Antonio are only seconds away from winning the whole thing.
Yeah. So 4-2, they would have won it.
They would have won it 4-2.
Yeah.
Ball gets in the hands of LeBron, who puts up a 3, misses.
Had LeBron won one at this stage?
Hadn't won one. I don't think.
Yeah.
So they get the rebound. They flick it out to the corner where Ray Allen has the presence of mind to step back a fraction to make sure it's 3 points.
3.
Drains it. And the whole joint goes absolutely crazy.
Unbelievable shot.
They win that, and then they go to Game 7 and win Game 7 and they end up winning the
It
championship
was
on the back of
unbelievable.
that.
The fact that he had the awareness to step back to get over the line and get that right,
But not go
still
out of
not go
bounds.
Out of bounds.
and get the 3-pointer. There's not much room.
Yeah,
and,
man.
That's the biggest clutch moment I've ever seen. I'm not even a big basketball fan, but I love watching that moment.
And how the bench goes nuts when that happens.
Crazy.
It's so good.
I wonder where Dino's going to go.
Ah, geez, I have to think about this. The great Dominic Sheed. And, hey, it was a drop punt. There was no check side ball, no running around. This man just
How
put
long
it
do
through.
you reckon there was in the clock?
There was 2 minutes and change. But we were peppering. And
Right. So if it wasn't Dom, someone else would have done it.
people forget that after that, Luke Shuey put it on Jack Darling's chest in the goal score.
I remember that. And he dropped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would never live that down.
So the golf one was yours.
Golf one was mine. I agree with Dom Sheed, but Brown Dog showed me Ray Allen. That was pretty impressive.
That's special.
So Bucks has been playing silly buggers with us, Dog, since you've been away. And we all know we love this word on the show.
Spasmodic.
He dropped spasmodic just on its own. We'll have a listen.
He's been the match winner on several occasions.
It's interesting you say that. So you're second on the Coleman, but you've played in a spasmodic manner. It's sort of.
That's good. But on Friday, I gave these two a challenge. I gave them an option of 2 words, either brouhaha or uglification.
Right.
And I just said, you can choose either one.
Astonishing. I'm thinking there's no chance. No chance either of those are getting up. And it had to be on Friday night. So all we've got is the panel. I can't even get in, wedge it in during the game. So we're not doing the commentary.
Just talk about clutch moments.
Well, astonishing. It caught me so unawares. We're interviewing Ross Lyon, like a senior AFL coach, moments out before the game, in a serious tone interview. And this is our interview. First question from Nathan Buckley. Old Fitzroy fan, you remember me as a kid. Snotty-nosed kid getting your autograph, Rossi.
Ross, I was a hack, so we'll move on.
What about? Well, before we do move on, what about the brouhaha of the week? And apparently, you are the architect of the uglification of the game of football. How does that sit with you, mate?
He got them both.
That's pretty good. Me and Rizzy opened a bottle of red in 2005.
Oh, my God.
That is brilliant.
Mate, and you hear me underneath here, you hear this voice go, oh, my God.
Mate, unflinching, and it made sense. And Rossi was like, because Rossi's a bit of a weirdo. We love him for that.
We love Ross.
It did make a difference.
It did make a difference.
That's
Like,
unbelievable.
Gaz didn't even pick up on it. It was so seamless. Mate, I nearly choked when I heard it go again.
Listen for John.
Old Fitzroy fan, you remember me as a kid. Snotty-nosed kid getting your autograph, Rossi.
Ross, what
I was a hack, so we'll move on.
What about? Well, before we do move on, what about the brouhaha of the week? And apparently, you are the architect of the uglification of the game of football. How does that sit with you, mate?
Oh, my God.
No, it's pretty good. Me and Rizzy opened
That's gold. I feel like I'm now part of the St Kilda's inner sanctum after me spooning Tom Campbell up there at the Sofitel on Thursday night.
Mate, that
He
was
played. What
unbelievable.
about he played?
We played it, mate. He didn't get a kick. Mate, he had no sleep. Can you believe this? Can you believe? I don't know, Dog. We want to talk about when we're going to Hodgey's, but Hodgey's 40th. But maybe we're going to it now.
Christ.
So Tom Campbell gets a game for St Kilda.
Hasn't played since round 23, 2022. So it's been nearly a year and a half.
St Kilda staying at the same hotel as the great Campbell Brown. What happened?
Well, I saw him when I was at the lobby bar earlier in the day, and a couple of the boys, said g'day. Higo loves the podcast, good man. Saw Ross, we had a laugh about him not tagging Noel Anderson the week before, I didn't think much of it. I checked into my room really quickly. When you just drop your bag in your room, spray some deodorant, get changed, and come back down.
Yep.
And you go, I don't remember what room number I was.
Yeah.
Which was fine. So about 1:15, I get home and I go, I've got a friend of mine who's going to have a drink with. Right? And I went up to the reception. I said, Campbell Brown. Yep. And she said, yep, no worries, Mr. Campbell, 1903. Gives me the key. So up I go to the lift. And I turned to Hamo, who I was with. I said, mate, positive I wasn't in room 19, like level 19.
Yeah.
He goes, well, you have to.
It's been a big weekend, though. A big couple
We
of days.
walk out. I go left to 1903. I turn to him. I go, mate, I'm positive that I went right to my room, And he said, well, it's all key. So we get to 1903, click, open it up. So I flick the light on, bowl in there to go to the minibar and go have a drink. And there's a 6'6" naked guy on the bench. He sits up and goes, ah! And I go, ah! And then we both pause and look at each other, and he goes, Campbell? And I go, Tom? What? And they've given me Mr. Campbell, right? Instead of Campbell, man, they've given me Tom Campbell's room key.
Wow.
And I apologised to him. I said, are you playing tonight? He goes, yeah, I am. I said, mate, good luck. And that was at 2:15, he reckons. I thought it was like 1:30, but it's, yeah.
How'd you go? How'd you play?
He went all right. Yeah.
He struggled.
All right, ads back in a second. We've got a lot to get to. This is Brownie's Podcast. Welcome back to Brownie's Podcast, at Brownie's Podcast. Follow us and all that stuff. Now, we've been waiting to talk about this for a while.
Yeah, we have. It was Hodgey's 40th. Big build-up too. Hodgey's much love in not only the Hawthorn Footy Club, but obviously Brisbane and the wider footy community. So everyone, what do they call it when you're not an ensemble? You're assembled. Everyone assembled up on the Sunshine Coast, Brown Dog, for Hodgey's 40th.
They did. No, it was good. First of all, I eventually caught up with Wayne Crawford. I got him to Brisbane.
Really?
I got him up to Brisbane. We had lunch on Friday. Made my way up to Noosa.
Another one of the relationships that we had doubts on as to whether Wayne actually knew Brown Dog.
Because Wayne famously bailed on an America trip a day before, which says to me bad times.
Yes. I know, but we had to get to Noosa because Hodgey's 40th was on Magpie Island, which Richard Branson owns.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up. It's a heart-shaped island.
He's got a very good friend, Stuart Giles, and his wife, Catherine, that own the island. So they go there a fair bit, and they were very hospitable. There's about 100 plus people invited to the island for Hodgey's 40th, and we got a little boat. We just putted around to the island. Took about 40 minutes. Sully, he was there. Birch, Jordan, Ruffy, Buddy, Fakes, Linky McCarthy, Brucey, Cam Bruce, Abby Holmes. So there was a good crew of people and some of his Colac mates and some of his schoolmates and the Brisbane boys. So it was good fun.
He's got a few rough mates from Colac, Hodgey, doesn't he?
Yeah, they're good boys.
A few louts.
Over the journey, I haven't seen them for years, but they popped up and 2 o'clock until 9:30 and then get the off the island.
Really?
Yeah, so the boat took us back to Noosa and
cool.
They stayed there and kicked on, but it was a good night.
How was the reunion too? We spoke about it on Friday on the podcast, the reunion of the Succotar housemates.
Yes.
So was any packets of Succotar on the boat, at any stage throughout the night?
Everything was going good.
Yeah.
There was peace on the boat until someone brought out some Succotars.
Yeah. Barbecue Succotars, and then all of a sudden nowhere to be seen.
I kept grabbing the ones with all the flavour on them and then just leaving the other ones back. But, it was good night. Everyone ripped in. Probably 3 votes went to Brad Sewell. He was on fire.
Was there karaoke? What sort of horseplay are we talking?
Just dances funny. Yeah, very feminine dancer, Sully.
He's a funny dancer.
Don't you reckon?
Like it was a sort of, I don't know, what was it?
What are you doing? The Monster Mash over there?
I'm doing the Sully dance. It's sort of like old school cheerleading stuff. Anyway, it was bizarre. You're right. What about Fags' dance move?
Fags was on the dance floor. He was bouncing around. Yeah, he's going well. He's good. Didn't want anyone filming him though.
Fair. No, that's good. So it's nice of you to film him.
So I've got some vision, but that's the only way you can blackmail people unless you got to have the vision.
That's right. You've got it over Fags forever.
Bud on fire. Good time.
Good time. Yeah, no, everyone performed well. Recovery was yesterday at the surf club, and I flew back this morning, so that's probably why I'm a little bit dusty. Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the 40th, Sunday for the Sunday session. I've got nothing left to give.
John, your 40th now, in hindsight, it wasn't on an island, man. It seems a bit
ordinary. Was it the pub in Hawthorn, wasn't it? It was a big day, though.
I reckon I had 25 lychee martinis.
Oh, the lychee martinis.
They sneak up on you.
Yeah, right. They got you in there. Yeah. That's good. And a Sunday session?
Good, solid session. Yeah, up there. And then I had to get the car because I commandeered Glenn Boss's car because I didn't know how I was going to get from Brisbane to Noosa. No one had really offered lifts. I wasn't getting the bus or the train. So I commandeered Bossy's car. I had to get that back. And then we ripped into Mr. Percival's that afternoon.
Hodgey definitely had an epic time for his 40th.
Oh, mate, the best. You couldn't have had a bad time on Makepeace Island. Stewie Giles, on my way off the island, I said, mate, thanks very much for having us.
Yep.
And he said, yeah, Brownie, he goes, mate, great to have you, but you'll never be back here ever again. I go, what do you mean? He goes, that one off for you, mate. You're barred.
Nice.
So I don't expect to be going back up to Makepeace Island.
Mate, good to have you back. Now, I was listening to this just popped up on Instagram. This is Gaelic football commentary. Just picture it in your head, right? A guy's running into an open goal and misses. And just listen to the commentary team.
Under the way from Limerick, gives it back. Beautiful reverse pass. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. God, oh, how did he miss it is right. Number 13. Incredible. Adam Loughran. Adam Loughran. Unbelievable miss.
He had the girl in the bed and he didn't touch her.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus. We'll be in court tomorrow, Scotland.
Because I think it was a big weekend. Because I missed it by a week, the Gaelic football. There'd be big games, huge games there this weekend because it's getting close to the All-Ireland final.
He had the girl in the bed and didn't touch her.
You've got to go that again, Dino. We've got to do that again.
Under the way from Limerick, gives it back. Beautiful reverse pass. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. God, oh, how did he miss it is right. Number 13. Incredible. Adam Loughran. Adam Loughran. Unbelievable miss.
He had the girl in the bed and he didn't touch her.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Almighty save it.
Could you imagine if you rolled that out? Channel 7 Brown Dog, hey, because he's been the flavour of the month, hasn't he, Dog? You know, with Lewis Martin at Channel 7.
Yeah.
How would you go, you reckon, Dog, if you went with that on the
You'd
commentary?
be in trouble. I reckon you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
I might wheel it out. I've got North Melbourne this Saturday night coming.
Oh, really?
Might wheel it out.
Give it a go.
Oh,
just see, just bring a bit of spice to it, mate. And then you've always got that as evidence. So that was all right in Ireland.
Beck, we've got this clip here, which I guess we can pop on Instagram, but take us through this, you guys. So this was at the North game.
Yeah, I saw this.
So you saw it live?
Saw it live, and I was filming it all, I thought, until right at the end, I realised I wasn't filming it.
Okay, here we go. So it's a guy fully clothed.
Yeah.
Two guards after him here.
Yeah.
Goose step. Dusty. He's dusting one of them.
Yes.
Almost gets away. Fatal slip.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. Not the first person to slip up on the grass there at Marvel Stadium.
But begs the question.
Yeah.
You probably knew you were half a chance because your mates would have spoken about it pre-game.
Yeah.
Half a chance that you're going to do it. Why wouldn't you bring your footy boots with you in your backpack?
Good point.
Mate, at least bring the moulded soles in there, but you can't be going with the flat shoe runners.
No. If you're a guard, where is your taser?
Exactly. No, I just don't think, mate. We're too politically correct here in Australia.
Tase these boys.
Get the taser out, because that's a good deterrent. And boys, if you're going to intrude, wear your footy boots next time. We're in the middle of winter at Marvel. They can't open the roof.
Be prepared.
Yes.
It's good to watch, though. I really enjoyed it. Good on him.
After this, Beck reckons that people are going to the footy, the Swans games, just to hook up. And I got to hear more about this. Yeah, Beck will tell us about
Tinder dates or something.
Yeah, just to find the love of their life, I guess.
Have a game of footy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll find out next. We've got a Wild World.
Hell yes.
Coming up. Welcome back to Brownie's podcast. So I get in today and I'm doing my audio prep, and Beck's banging on about people going to the Swans games to get it on. What do you mean?
It's a really strange phenomenon. So a lot of people these days, I was thinking like everyone just goes to run clubs just to find, love of their life, Like I was thinking
run
clubs were the thing, right?
Really?
Yeah, people do that like Saturday morning, like, go and
Well, I
meet
think
people.
that's how Ash Gardner.
Get the lycra and
Ash,
sweaty.
that's how she got
Really?
Yeah, Aaron, what's his name?
Ahead of her time.
Her great fiance.
Yeah.
And we love him.
Fiance.
Ash is our old newsreader, but they met through
fiance.
fitness.
They met through fitness. Now she's turned into like an ultra bloody marathon triathlete.
Exactly. Anyway, so what do you mean? So they're doing a run club to the game?
No, so people that's how it usually goes. Like at the moment, run clubs are like the new thing.
They're horny.
Yeah,
really?
They're getting wild at run clubs. Anyways, so people in Sydney Swans are doing well in the footy, right? Must be getting them feeling a certain type of way. People up in Sydney have been going to Sydney Swans games to find
hook up.
love, to hook up. Yeah,
It's a hot spot.
It's like an aphrodisiac, the way they're playing the Sydney Swans.
yeah.
The SCG.
SCG.
That's where you're going.
You find there's disabled toilets, click it on engage, and just get it on, I guess.
Don't worry about Bumble and all the other apps.
Remember Jeff Hugel tried that with his missus at the Randwick races,
right.
just down the road, the disabled toilets. Didn't end well.
Nah.
They found some, what did they find on Duck?
Talcum powder.
Anti-inflammatories on. All right, so people are hooking up at Swans games. Interesting.
Yeah, so we might be getting some vision of that in a couple games. So
Really?
All right.
well, not
Sex
of people,
tapes?
not
It sounds
not
like
in
sex
the,
tapes.
not in the disabled bathrooms,
Okay.
but just like going around,
Okay.
sussing out. Not me, but someone else
So
on our
has this
team.
been used as a marketing ploy by the Sydney Swans? Has the club had anything to do with it, or it's just become a phenomenon?
I think that's your conspiracy that you've set up.
Well,
Right.
Well,
There we go.
We need to see some evidence. Is that what we're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, so we're going to get that.
What do we got, brother?
What a world. Now, this one blew my mind. The 8th Circuit Courts of Appeal needs to decide whether car insurance should cover STDs contracted in insured vehicles, right? A woman, has filed a $1 million claim with Geco after her partner infected her with an STD in their 2014 Hyundai Genesis. Geico denied the claim, and the District Court of Western Missouri agreed, basically saying that if you have sex in a car and you contract an STD, that it's not the car's fault, it's not the insurance fault, it's policy. What a world. Jeez. We've all had sex in cars, right?
Mate, even if it's on your own, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still sex, right?
Diesel.
Jesus.
So that's wasted
You can't
time.
blame the gear stick or the seatbelt for chlamydia.
You certainly... We'll
go.
try, but you just can't. Hey, degenerate.
We'll try.
We'll see you in a few days. Good to have you back, Dog.
Always. Peace.